Two men are dying of thirst. Suddenly discovered a holy grail appeared in front of. The man is eager to move forward, prepare to drink water from the chalice. But when he touched the chalice, his body suddenly took a strange turn, immediately turned to ash. Looks like the fat guy wasn't the one who was fated to pick. To witness the sight of his companions, Merlin in his heart began to torment, waiting to die in this desert, or the courage to bet on fate. Merlin finally decided to take a risk. Merlin took a deep breath. I firmly hold my hand to the Holy Grail. Nothing happened this time. Looks like he was right. I quickly drank water to save my life. As soon as you finish drinking the water in the chalice, a miracle has happened. Every day the desert turns into a forest, lush green. And from then on, Merlin also has powerful magic. We can predict the future. He also achieved immortality. In the last 500 years, he used magic to help people. When I think I'll go on, life is so boring. A woman named Nemu changed his life. Merlin discovered his ability to predict the future. It's completely useless to her. The reason Nemu came to Merlin's village, it's because a masked man raided your village. Only you survived the whole village. Merlin was so curious about her that he kept her. During the time of living together, Merlin and the girl have a special relationship. Merlin loves Nemu, but he is very confused. Because you are immortal. For the past 500 years, I've seen my family leave. If married to Nemu, I'll watch my lover leave me. Merlin recounted to receiving the chalice, and tell her the chalice is in your hands. Now Nemu came up with the idea. As long as you drink the Holy Grail, you two can live together forever. But Merlin came to pay the price of immortality. I don't want you to suffer like me. Merlin made a better offer. The Holy Grail gives you magic, so you can turn a cup into a sword. This sword will remove magic. Help me escape from immortality. They can live like ordinary people. Look at Merlin. I gave up magic and eternal life. Nemu is very touched. Agree with Merlin to remove the spell. To forge the chalice, need to find the original flame. Prometheus fire on the way. They go through Nemu homeland. The village was destroyed by the mask. Nemu remembers the traumatic experience. They saw countless cups. The masked man robbed the village to find the Holy Grail. Merlin used his uncle to detect the masked man who was watching them. Know this. Merlin wants to leave quickly, but Nemu doesn't understand. Masks are just ordinary people. Merlin just needs a spell to kill him. Why should I be so afraid? Merlin explained that if you use murder magic, the darkness will eat away at the soul. Nemu was confused but listened. They get to where the fire is. Merlin uses the Prometheus fire gene on the holy sword. It's the legendary Excalibur. At this moment, the mask suddenly appeared. Not made Nemu, but Nemu's resistance made him angry. He used a weapon to stab his stomach. Watch the woman you love die in your arms. Merlin was in great pain, but even so, Merlin still has a good heart. He still tried to advise the man to give up the holy sword. But soon after, he suddenly snatched his heart from behind. It turns out that when Merlin was working on it, he discovered she secretly drank water from chrysanthemum. You also have an immortal body. But the most important thing right now is Merlin can't let you kill. I advise you, if you kill, your magic will be dark. But he said the man did not deserve to be forgiven. I didn't fight for him. I fight for you. I need you to be the woman I know. I know you feel like you've lost everything. But they'll disappear if you do this. I can reverse everything. But in the end, Felt 6 still did not listen to Merlin's advice. She crushed the masked man's heart at that moment. Your skin starts to change. From here, the first false darkness was born. Felt 6 double guillotine royal chi sword. Then leave Merlin and carry the fire. Merlin, to secure the sword, has sealed the royal chi sword to the rock. The broken part is forged into a dagger. He sealed his soul into it. To be able to control the false darkness, to exclude permanent after effects. Merlin summons the false darkness with a dagger. He's going to use it to destroy you completely. But at the last moment, Merlin still can't help it. Because across from him was the woman he loved the most. And also because of this softness, shining out of control, Merlin was arrested and controlled by her. The false darkness used his tears of love to seal. Merlin was turned into a tree. Also from this moment, the age of false darkness officially opens. And also because of the rise of the fake dark age, made up the fairy tales that we're familiar with. Like in this movie. Connect all the characters in the world together. Next we will see the birth of and the change of his fate. He's just been born. 2 fairies came to your house. What makes your mother? Fiona didn't expect the fairies to say her son. Not ordinary people. It's a messiah chosen by fate. But soon, Fiona, thanks to the magic book, understand the truth about the messiah. It turns out that the fate of the messiah, not as beautiful as imagined. According to the prophecy, this winter a wicked man will be born. In his hand is the sign of the moon, and he'll kill the messiah in the final battle. As a mother, you can't let this happen. Fiona uses the fairy's wand. She turned herself into a fairy so she could be with her mother. Protect your son. and grandmother and fairy mother were going everywhere looking for babies to find the wicked in the prophecy, but they're looking for all the children born that winter. I still don't see the moon sign. Fiona wants to protect you. Was about to create a dark curse, but this action was strongly opposed by the red fairy. Because of her dark curse, we will take all the children to a world without magic. But Fiona didn't listen to the red fairy. She snatched the heart of the red fairy. At that moment, a black light flashed. Fiona turns into a black fairy. Look at the moon on her hand. Everyone understands the evil in destiny. It's Fiona herself. To know the truth, Fiona is heartbroken. She pulls out fate. Cut off the fate of the sun's savior. It's also because he acted against his fate. The blue fairy exiled him to another world. His son was raised by his father alone. Nourishment. The father named the boy Rumpelstiltskin. But the pain of losing his wife broke the father down. Time passed. Ram was 4 years old. The father still lives in despair. I don't worry about work all the time. I just cheat. To make some money, go to the bar. He even took the chips to the textile mill. Let the weavers take care of you for a while. My mouth says I'm going to find a job. But the two weavers understood. How reliable is that father? They especially love Ram. Ram is a very smart kid. The days at the Ram weaving workshop revealed extraordinary talent. Quickly learned the craft of weaving. Ram still thinks if he makes money, you can be reunited with your father. But the weaver was very sorry for Cho and tell you that if you want to have a happy life, you've got to go where father's bad reputation can't affect me. I will give you a magic jewel. This jewel can open the gate, take you to another world. But Tay still came to me. I hope to go to the new world with you, to start a new life. I see the jewel. The father only thought of selling it for money. Finally, after incarceration, convinced the father. I agree to go to the new world with you. They're wondering which world to choose. The father remembered the dream island from his childhood. He threw the jewel and jumped into the gate. And then they went to father's island, very excited. This place is exactly like a childhood dream, he told Ram in Neverland. Every wish comes true. Just think about what will happen. Ram hands closed eyes. Immediately a chocolate cake appeared in the palm of the hand. The father also told the ram they could fly over Neverland. I told you I'm going to model for you. But when you jump into the air, he can't fly. The father now remembered he wanted to fly. You have to find the fairy dust. 2. Your father came to the fairy tree. Fairy dust on the top of the tree. But when you go up, Ram stopped. Because you don't want to fly. I just want to start a new life with you. The father alone climbed the tree. Tail waiting below. Up to the top of the tree, he got the fairy dust. But strangely, I can't fly. I was confused. A shadow appeared. It's the only resident of Neverland. The father asked the question, why can't I fly? It turns out that Neverland is only children want to realize their dreams, to be young again. I want children to give up their children. Once upon a time, the father chose Neverland. There's a way for us to stay here. But let go of what's holding us back. That's me. And then he let the shadow of the donut go. The shadow of the man who brought the chips home. My father stayed in Neverland to be the Peter Pan we know. Chips, back to the weaving workshop. You were raised by a weaver. You grew up not being influenced by your father. You married a beautiful wife. Join Army 5. Become a frontline soldier. But before the day of battle, a ram meets a strange little girl. She claims to be a prophet, but Ram doesn't believe her. The unexpected thing is, the girl immediately said out his name and even his wife's name. This made the prisoner start to pay attention. Then the girl went on to say that his wife was pregnant. He's about to be a father, but not yet excited. The girl said again, he will die in battle. Fight the predatory monster tomorrow. And say that tomorrow, soldiers will ride out into battle. These words make me believe the girl is crazy. So he left without answering. But that night it scared me. Superior notice. Tomorrow they will ride their horses and leave for battle. Just like the prophecy. I can't believe the prophecy is true. I didn't have to die to see my son. 5 years with a hammer against his leg. Because you just need to get hurt. He won't have to go to war. But as he trudges home, his wife made fun of him. Because of the Cherry 5 rumor that spread all over town. Your wife Mira is a total coward. Just like your father Mira. You can fight. You can die. The wife's words hurt. But fortunately, my little boy gives me some comfort. Time flies by, now 5 years old. But his wife Mira. He was drunk all day and used to be the captain. Even the next day, listening to the neighbors. Jack has kidnapped your wife Mira. When I went to the harbor, I was humiliated. To be intimidated. By Ram gave up. Bow away from that, Ram lives with son. By the time I was 13 years old, 14 years old in a few days, but Ram started to worry. Because of the state tensions, 8 soldiers. All 14-year-olds go to war. It's confusing. Ram met a wanderer. Wanderer tells Cho Ram about the legend of the guilty. He possesses powerful magic. But there's a knife that can restrain him. Just get the knife. He will become the owner of the land. This is no longer a Nemu. It's the 18th. Ram listened to the wandering. Fire at the Duke's castle. And stole the knife of the oppressed. Holding a knife in his hand to summon wrongfully. But unjustly ridiculed. Call you a pissed-off coward. Ram stabbed the knife in his chest. Until now, Ram recognized the real face. He was the one who wandered before. Wanley told Ram you'd be the perfect successor. Take out the knife. Name on the knife turned into Rumpelstiltskin. Ram becomes the new villain. The first thing you do. To the battlefield, where the army fights monsters. The military situation is very unfavorable. Soldiers killed by monsters. Only Commander Bay survived. When the monster tried to kill Bay, the monster suddenly exploded. The devil saved Bay. And then you destroy all the monsters. Fast kill land monsters. Everyone sees him as you. Congratulations. Welcome now. The pig appeared again. Tell people that using black magic, fear will pay. They will all pay a very high price. Even though everyone shunned Ram, listened to Bo. My son is also worried. I hope you don't use magic anymore. Look at my son. I promised you. But the next day, the villagers came for help. That a monster has plundered villages and take away their relatives. But Tash promised the pen. No more magic. But Daddy is naive, thinking that even without magic, you can still save them. I see my father so determined, reluctant to agree. On the way to the cave, I realized I had something strange. I asked her if she was always insecure, still carrying the dark dagger. Then Ram gives dagger to Daddy, and said it could control itself. If you use dark magic later, the little pen can stop you with a dagger. When Ram and Daddy go into the cave, it's too late. Those arrested are dead. At this moment, a black shadow appeared next to him, and steal the dagger of darkness. Turned out to be the soldier pig. On the battlefield, the prisoners suddenly understood. There were no monsters raiding the village. It's all Bo's plot. He hates Tears. On the battlefield, they stole the glory they deserved. They want to harm the dog. Tears are going forward, but because of the darkness in his hands, he could only stand still. I told my dad to run for help. Then, Fat continue, you may have been at war with goblins, but will be remembered as heroes. Defeated the Dark One, and then Bo left to make up a crime story with the villagers. On the way home, the pig was too subjective, ambushed by his father to steal the dagger. You summon a captain and beat him up. But even so, Ram is kind. Want to ignore this? You and your dad are going to a new village. But I don't want to leave the pig. You want him to pay. He used a knife and ordered Ram to kill him. Ram stormed just one shot, Bo died. Then Ram doesn't want Daddy to fall into the dark. Like I used a spell to erase your memory, make you forget about this. Also from there, Ram completely SA into darkness. But my only obsession is to protect my son. Dad scratched his knee. I'm angry too. Even though the driver is constantly sorry. The year is still unbearable. Use magic to turn him into a snail and crush him. The brutality of scaring everyone in the village. I hope you come back as before. You go to the forest and ask the green fairy for help, but she told Daddy, I can't turn it back. But give you a pea, I say. It can take you to the world. There's no such magic, you and Dad. They can live like normal people, but when Daddy opened the door, I am afraid if there is no magic. What to protect my dad later? For procrastination, bringing Dad alone to the real world. Until I saw the pumpkin disappear. The new Linspector deeply regretted. He scratched the rocks on the ground, screaming the little pen. Then he went to the woman. Asked her to give me another magic bean. But the woman Lamb said, that's her last magic bean. To find my son again. Long popular everywhere, looking for news about ghost beans. From a sailor. He knew he had one. As soon as we're ready to deal with sailors. Suddenly, I met an old acquaintance. It was the tiger captain who robbed his wife. This time the spectrum is different. The confrontation is just one-sided crushing. When the patient's standard spectrum is given the final blow, Mila's ex-wife suddenly appeared. Turns out Mila wasn't stolen by the tiger. We met at the bar last year. She loved the tiger. To save the tiger, Mila gives out the magic bean. They're looking for something in exchange for it. On the day of the exchange, Mila used words to provoke him. 'Cause I never loved you. The frenzied spectrum tore through Mila's sick heart. Watch Mila die. The tiger also refused to deliver the beans. He cut off the hand that held his magic beans. He didn't kill the tiger. Let him feel the pain of losing his love. But when I get home, the tiger has no ghost beans. Turns out, the ghost pea is hidden in the other hand of the tiger. He threw the phantom pea back to the immortal island of Neverland. Lang Spectrum desperate. I went to the prophet of old. The prophet uses power. Spectrum predicts he'll find his son again. But the journey wasn't easy. He needs to perform the curse as the doer. She's the daughter of a woman named Cora. Spectrum wants to know the details. The prophet says he wants to see the future, to receive the power of prophecy. But when the inheritance is done, the prophet does not know everything. I can only see a few pieces. Here's the whole process, from the birth to the blackening of the monster. After having the power of prophecy, he will carry out the plan step by step, and link the fairy tales later. She is the mother of Snow White. Young people have an unexpected past, this time to visit the Northern Kingdom. She deliberately raised her feet, causing Ms. Ra to fall over carrying the axes. Dirty my shoes. Cora tried to explain that Princess Eva was deliberately harming her, but the king sternly warned. Princess Eva is the guest. I can't do anything rude. Even though the depression is extremely under pressure from the crown. I'm sorry, princess. Is the humble builder's daughter. She knows she can't resist power. This is the first time Cora's ever felt so small and helpless, full of resentment and shame. The king also ordered, get up when they leave. For the first time in Cora's heart, the desire for power arose. She swore that one day she would escape the rope. Princess Eva did not expect this extravagant act. Not only makes Cora resentful, but also silently. 600 hours 15 minutes 20 seconds. 9. Cora, as usual to the pub, meet a man claiming to be a neighboring prince. Cora is suspicious until the man accidentally dropped the handkerchief. Made Cora see the royal insignia on it. You believe in his prince status. The prince expressed his love for Cora and gave her a ring made of straw. She promised she'd be back in 2 weeks. Exchange this straw ring for a gold ring. Let her be your queen, who yearned for high status. Cora. He did not hesitate to accept the prince's proposal. They got together that night, but 2 weeks later, Cora stood waiting anxiously at the rendezvous. You can't see the prince. She waited patiently for another 2 months in vain. Right now, the battle straw ring was softened by the rain and tattered deformation does not form. The old promise is now like this straw ring, worn out by time and reality. Distortion is no longer intact. But what makes you desperate than to find out I was pregnant? You are reluctant. Cora traveled 1,000 miles to the neighboring palace, looking for Prince. But when I met that man, I found out he's not a prince. It's just a gardener. Cora told the gardener she was pregnant, but he doesn't want to take responsibility. Cora fell down and left in a hurry. At the time Cora was most desperate, I met the real prince. While talking to Cora, I was fascinated by her special personality. But the prince was engaged to the princess Eve of the previous kingdom. This meeting caused the prince to change his mind. I decided to marry Cora, annulment of marriage to Princess Eva. I never met them before their wedding day. Cora's scammer had appeared before. Saw Cora the sparrow on the golden branch. He threatened her to give him enough money, or he'll tell the story between you and the prince. Their conversation. She was accidentally overheard by Princess Eva behind the wall. Eva accuses Cora of being pregnant with Prince. Cora's royal dreams are once again shattered. Also from here. Then she and Eva became mortal enemies. Princess Eva finally married the prince. Cora gave birth to a daughter alone, but because of the desire for royal life, Cora decided to abandon her daughter. Then you go to another kingdom. At the same time the kingdom is having a ball. She sneaks into the party in a social dress. But the camouflage was quickly overrun. King discovered. To save face. Cora. He said he had magic that could turn straw into gold. The king of course did not believe it. Immediately asked Cora for proof. But Cora says using magic requires mental focus. I have to give you time. Then the king locked her in the high tower and promised if you could turn the straw into gold, I will make you a prince's wife. Cora now regretted the words, because she's completely incapable of turning straw into gold. Right now, Dark Guy's Rumpelstiltskin appeared behind her back. Rumpelstiltskin told Cora he could help you, fulfilling the promise of turning straw into gold. But in exchange, Cora must be his first child, because Rumpelstiltskin is a prophet. He knew Cora's daughter would help him find his son. You want to make a deal to get your daughter. But Rumpelstiltskin has underestimated Cora's ambitions. Say you agree to the transaction, but he has to teach you magic. You want to hold magic. After a night of training, Cora has successfully learned how to turn straw into gold. Dangerous. She achieved her wish when she became engaged to the prince. But it all happens. Unexpected events. In the process of learning magic with Dark Rumpel, you two have developed feelings. Rumpel and Cora decide to run away together. Then Rumpel modified the contents of the covenant from taking Korra's first child, a child born of the two of them. Just before the day they were leaving, Korra changed her mind. She decided to marry the prince because she realized her heart was blocking her goal. Originally, you have to make them all kneel at your feet so as not to be emotionally attached. Korra cut out her own heart. I never loved you. There's never anything that can change. We have a covenant. I will marry your son. Let's change the covenant. You can only marry your own child. Among the children we have, no one will be yours. Finally, poor Rumpel was once again deceived. Finally, Korra and Prince Henry, she completed her engagement and gave birth to a daughter. Korra Regina has achieved her first wish. After having a daughter Regina, you have a second wish. It's bringing Regina to the throne. Queen, growing up under the distinct education of the adult Korra has very high expectations for her daughter. But she didn't expect. Regina doesn't care about power and status at all. She just wants to live free. Korra wants Regina to be queen, but she's in love with her writing teacher, Daniel. I know you will agree. Regina and Daniel only dare to love each other in another secret. Princess Eve and the prince were also born, Snow White princess, and prepare for the big dance. On the occasion of her 10th birthday, when Korra learns that her enemy is living happily, you're very angry. She used dark magic to poison Snow White's mother. Life in danger, but this is just the beginning of the plan. When little Snow White learned that her mother had been poisoned, you are about to leave your life very afraid. The doctor couldn't find the cause. They fall into despair. Now a female is thinking of a way. Conventional medicine is ineffective, but magic can you tell Snow White? There was a fairy in the forest. He possesses magical powers. You just need to pray. The girl will make a wish. Snow White immediately went deep into the forest. When you're ready to wish, the blue fairy suddenly appeared. She said she felt Snow White's heart and know your mother's story. She gave her a magic candle. Said it could save your mother's life. But this magic has a price if you want to save me. Someone else has to die. 7 rounds Snow White. The last thing, your mother wants you to be honest. Finally, Snow White sacrificed the lives of others to save his mother. Eve is glad to know my decision. I'm glad Snow White made the right choice. Finally, the mother closed her eyes in front of her daughter. On Snow White's birthday, she organized a funeral for her mother. Snow White doesn't know. It's all Korra's plot. She poisoned Snow White's mother, then pretend to be a green fairy. I want to make your heart cruel, but I can't believe it. Snow White is no high. He sacrificed someone else's life to save his mother. But it's just the beginning. On Snow White, I went out with you. Korra used magic to make White's horse, the Snow Panic, and Snow White rides the Panic Horse. Bumped into Regina. She is dating Daniel now. The kind Regina saved Snow White from passing by. Father Snow White to repay Regina, proposed to Regina. But before Regina could react, your mother agreed to this marriage. Regina knows she can't fight her mother, looking for Daniel to run away with you. But their conversation was accidentally interrupted by Snow White. I heard Snow White running away sadly. Regina immediately chased. She opened up to Snow White that you and Daniel are the true love. After Regina's explanation, Snow White understood what she meant and agreed to keep it a secret for her. But Snow White is young. SSO is the rival of Korra born. Just a few words made Snow White believe. Korra loves her daughter very much. Snow White couldn't stand to see her mother and son separated. He revealed his entire escape plan. That night when Regina and Daniel were about to leave, Korra appeared to completely extinguish the girl's hope. Korra straightened his heart. Daniel, watch your lover die in front of you. Regina completely collapsed. My mother married the king. Until before the wedding day. From here, Regina just found out that it was all Snow White's doing. Also from here, Regina becomes Snow White's stepmother and always hated her. But after marriage, Regina lives aimlessly. Many times tried to escape, but they're all blocked by Korra's dark magic. You predicted this plan. We should set up barriers at the border. Only when the king is with you can you leave. Regina hasn't been evil yet. Your mother wants you to be queen, fulfilling unfinished dreams of youth. But Regina just wants to be free. You want to leave a place full of pain. Staying here only makes you the one who died and hated Snow White even more. If it wasn't for her revealing the secret, it wasn't like that. Regina confided in her father, and now she's become sensitive, easy to get angry. Small things make you think, I want to make you human. Cold, cruel. Power tricks, I told Regina. Your mother became like that. It's from a man named Zumpostiuskin. He taught Kurama the art of light. Regina sneaks into her mother's room. I want to find the person who taught my mother magic. While looking at the book, Rumpelstiltskin suddenly appeared. Regina asked him to break down her mother's barriers. As I was flipping through the book of Rumpel magic, the darkness suddenly appeared behind him. Regina wants Rumpel to help her break down barriers that your mother imposed so that she could escape the kingdom and be free. But Rumpel said he had a better way. Let her escape from her mother's control forever. Give Regina a magic mirror. That it's actually a portal. It can take people to another world. Finally instigated by Rumpel, Regina pushed her mother Cora into the mirror. Regina is completely rid of her mother. You are about to leave the kingdom. Then the Rumpel appears. See Rumpel. Regina immediately returned the magic book and say you don't need magic anymore. But as soon as you leave, Rumpel asked Regina, how did it feel to use magic for the first time? It doesn't matter. I won't use it anymore. That's so. Because I loved it. That sounds great, Rumpel. He told Regina to let me teach you all the magic. Regina doesn't know that everything is going on according to the plan. In the process of learning dark magic, Regina is changing. She transformed from a girl. They can't hurt even small creatures. She became a witch. You can easily steal someone else's heart. This change, the hatred for Snow White deepened. Now that I'm in the magic hand, she began to take revenge on Snow White. It made her lose everything she loved.